It is becoming more and more common for women in China to get something known as hymenoplasty. And of course, hymenoplasty is a cosmetic procedure. I don't know if you consider it cosmetic, where a woman's hymen is restored. So it appears that she is a virgin when she has sex with her husband on her wedding night. I feel like we talked about this story before, but the reason why I bring it up now is because this article quotes several men, and these are Chinese men, and all of them seem to say that having a virgin is like the most important thing when it comes to marriage. If she's not a virgin, she's basically useless. So I want to read you some of the quotes. Here's one of them. Women demand that men have houses and cars. Why can't men demand women be virgins? So greedy women, remember, you have to protect your hymens because those are big dowries for you to exchange for money. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I mean, can you believe that? Okay, so if you expect a woman to be a virgin, does that mean that you're a virgin as well on your wedding night? I highly doubt it.
All right, I love this for several reasons. First, it seems like they're coming at it from like morality and values point. They're like, you know what, you should be a virgin until you're married. And then you can cash in on it, get more money. You're like, wait, what happened to the values, right? And then second of all, you're 100% right, Anna. I mean, I guarantee you all those same guys are the ones that are desperately trying to convince girls to sleep with them before they're married. So, and the ones that do, what, all of a sudden they're bad people? That's a terrible message to send out there. It's really old school in a very unpleasant way. And then, of course, it leads them to do these crazy things where they try to, reconstruct their hymen.
You know, women in China are now, and not just in China, in a lot of other highly conservative countries, women are buying these devices that, they insert in their vagina on their wedding night. And when the guy has sex with her, it breaks and it causes fake blood to come out of her, and then the guy is tricked into thinking she's a virgin. It's so ridiculous, and it's so sad that women have to go to these measures to prove that they're virgins. I don't know, I know that this is maybe unreasonable for some people, but how about just not marrying a guy who's not gonna want to marry you if you're not a virgin? Just don't get married to that guy. Obviously, he's a douchebag, and you have no business being married to him for the rest of your life. I know that some people don't think that way, but I can't imagine marrying a guy who will refuse marrying me if he finds out that I'm not a virgin. That's so stupid. Obviously, he's not in love with me. I don't want to wake up to this guy for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I just want to jump in for a second because, look, a lot of people might think, well, Anna, that's not fair because they live in a different culture than you do.
Right.
So it's easy for you, in your culture, it might be a douchebag who says, oh, you need to be a virgin. But in their culture, that's just totally normal. But the flip side of that is, think about what Anna's saying. If a guy thinks the most important thing in choosing his wife is not her personality, not whether he can talk to her, not whether he can share with her, but the state of her hymen, what does that tell you about how he's picking his wife and whether you'd like to be married to him?
Yeah.
That'll tell you something very good.
Yeah, look, that's my point exactly. I understand that cultures are different. Look, Armenian culture is like that. When I was, I think 11 years old, my mom sat me down and told me, look, if you are not a virgin on your wedding day, an Armenian guy will dump you. He will get rid of you immediately. You have to be a virgin. And I thought to myself, well, I'm not going to marry an Armenian guy. I'm not interested in that. But anyway, of course the Armenian community has become,
That Armenian ship seems to have sailed.
Right. And look, I don't want to throw the Armenian community under the bus either. A lot of Armenians are progressive now, and they don't, believe in that craziness anymore. But of course, there are still those conservative Armenians who must have a virgin on their wedding nights, and those people are foolish and crazy. But anyway, when it comes to other cultures, like women in China who have no options, they have to deal with these ultra-conservative guys who demand virgins. Okay, so here's your option. Either you lie to the guy and you pretend you're a virgin and then you have to live with this guy for the rest of your life, or you don't get married at all and you live a perfectly happy life. That's the way I see it. I don't think you need to get married to someone to live a happy life, and you certainly shouldn't have to marry someone who only cares about what's in between your legs.